Hello and welcome to Metro AVTechTips Solutions live on Friday. I'm Brent.
I'm Adam.
And we are once again socially distancing. I'm here.
Yes, we are.
And
Yep.
he's not.
Yeah, that's correct. So, Brent, today, because of what we were talking about on Wednesday, now this is what we do normally. Wednesday is our day to get concepts and good ideas and good tech tips out to everybody who's out in the field. And where we don't really talk so much about product. However, this last Wednesday we did kind of talk a little bit about our products and stuff, mostly because it fits really well within what we were talking about. However, this Friday, we are talking about one of those products that we discussed on Wednesday, specifically the 1x4 HDMSPL5, or pardon me, the CS-1X4HDMSPL5.
Well, it's not just that. It could also be the 1X2.
Correct.
Yep. Or don't we also have a 1X8?
That's correct. Yep, we have a 1x8, a 1x4, and a 1x2.
And the difference is merely the size and the number of outputs.
That's correct. So one of the big things with the SPL5 series of HDMI splitters is the fact that it actually not only takes the HDMI signal and splits it up into however many sources you need, depending on which one you're buying, but it also has the scaling displays. Pardon me. It also has the scaling capability built into it as well. So specifically, there you go. Ta-da! Thanks, Vanna White. So specifically,
this is harder than it looks, by the way.
I'm sure it is. When we look at the one in your hand right now, that's the 1x4. And then on the front of it there, you actually have a little switch. In that switch, you have mixed, auto, and copy on it. And what that allows you to do is EDID select. So the auto is basically where it's acting like a traditional HDMI splitter, where you can take all of the TVs, if you have 4K, 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 and then a 1080p as the last option of the 4 displays. If you do the auto, it's going to operate like the old school HDMI splitters, where now everybody is watching 1080p. Or no
when the 1080p set turns on.
Correct, yes. Now, pardon me. What we also have with that is we have the, that's the mixed option, is what that is. The auto option is actually where the input of this device, this splitter, has its own canned EDID information. It actually is set to a 4K 60 HDR EDID. So it's going to tell the source device, hey, I'm a 4K 60 HDR capable display. Give me that information if you have it. And then, of course, the source device can give it that. And then it takes that information and scales it to whatever TV it's connected to. So if you have a 1080p TV, it'll scale that 4K HDR signal down to a 1080p resolution.
So each output is monitoring the EDID of the connected display and adjusting accordingly.
Yep, and it's independent, so it doesn't have to scale everything down. So if you have a 4K 60 HDR display on output 1, but you have a 1080p display on output 2, they are independent. So the 1080p will be 1080p and the 4K will be 4K. So it's a really great splitter for that reason. There's also on the front of it has the copy option. And the copy option, what that allows you to do, and it's specific to each one, it's different in each one. I think on the 1x2, it's output 2 is the primary, whereas with the 1x4, the primary output is output 1. But what that does, the copy will copy the EDID of whatever display you are connecting to that output and use that as the information to send back to the source device. And so that's great. That's a great use case where maybe you have an issue with a Samsung or an LG TV where it's requiring certain EDID information to get back to the source device. We're starting to see this a little bit more specifically in the frame TVs.
Yeah, you and Stuart and I have all taken a call on a AVTech projector.
Yes.
And turns out the extender works perfectly, the cable works perfectly, everything's good. It was the AVTech having an issue going through an extender.
Right. And so
that's why I had Bob send him off the 1x2 with EDID copy on it to put, once it's put it on the input right at the projector, then move it back to the output of the source.
That's right. Now, also, everyone who's watching, if you have questions about whatever it is that we're talking about, feel free to leave it over in the chat section over there. Or if you're watching this after the fact, you can leave it down in the comment section below. Now, when we look at the copy option, it's great because it allows you to use it in so many different applications where you might need to be able to have one TV be the primary TV that you want to have. Okay, we know that this TV over here, we know 100% works with this source device. And we find out that it's probably going to be an EDID conflict for all of the other TVs. That's where that copy really comes into play. Copy the EDID information of the TV that's known to work and use that as this information that goes back. And then this splitter will handle the rest of the new TVs and will scale all that information down to whatever those other TVs require. And it just works. It's fantastic. We had it set up there in the lab where we had a 4K 60 TV with HDR. We had a 1080, we also had a 4K TV with no HDR. We had a 1080p TV and we had a 720p TV. So we had 4 different TVs coming out of that one splitter and everything played. And the big thing, everything was in sync. It was surprising how in sync everything was.
And it's also surprising how good 720 looks scaled down from 4K.
Exactly.
That would shock me because this is not a high dollar video processor.
Correct. Yeah, no, it looks great for the scaling capability that it has built into it. It looked phenomenal with what we were able to do with it. Now, the 1x2 splitter is also it can also be used in other applications as well. My favorite way to use it is when you have an older AVR but a newer TV. So, say for instance, you have an older AVR that is a 1.4 or even now a 2.0 where you're running into problems with 2.1. Well, let me back up. This is a 2.0 chipset splitter. Right. So 2.1 is not really doing anything for you, but specifically if you have a 1.4 AVR and then you have a 2.0 TV, you can have the TV be set to that primary output, copy the EDID information to that so you still have all the high resolution. Then use the second output as your output for the AVR. That way the AVR is getting all the audio that it needs at the lower 1.4 chipset requirements or capabilities. And so you still can use a good sounding AVR that maybe you've had for a while. And there's nothing wrong with it. No need to really upgrade that. Throw this in there and that's going to handle that part of it. You'll need a splitter or a switch to go along with it. But as long as you have a switch and that piece there that does all the scaling and everything, you're all taken care of. It does everything for you.
Yeah, and if you've got a 4 or 5x1 switch and a 1x2 splitter, it's a very economical package to give you a tremendous amount of flexibility.
It's a lot cheaper than going out and buying a brand new AVR, or in this day and age, even a used AVR off eBay.
Oh,
or
darn
like that. Yeah, exactly. So, and that may be the case. You may be running into an issue where you're trying to upgrade, but you can't upgrade right now because you don't have access to anything. This is a great piece for that. So you're actually able to go in there and pick up one of these. It's in stock right now, as far as I understand. For more pricing and availability, reach out to your sales rep and or your distributor to find out if it's available for you and what the pricing is for you. Brent, what are some other interesting ways that you've seen, especially in tech support? Because we use this in tech support quite a bit because it solves so many problems. Any other specifics that you've seen?
One of the things that I like with this is we use it with the EDID blocker. Because even if you have a fixed output, like with the EDID blocker, you set your output in your NVR security DVR to X resolution. Not all TVs can accept that. So used in conjunction with the EDID blocker, this allows you to have a lot of different displays.
Right.
Because of the scaling on the same system. Because it's looking at the incoming signal and all it really cares about is what the display is telling it.
Right.
So it just takes that signal and syncs it to the display and boom, out you go.
So you're talking about taking the NVR or the DVR, having an EDID blocker plugged into that piece, and
setting
then
a resolution on that.
Because
you still only want to see one resolution.
Correct. Yes.
And then set it to whatever's highest on that machine for the displays you have. And we're seeing NVR DVRs with 4K outputs now.
Yeah, well, our SpyClops series, SpyClops Pro series, NVRs and DVRs are all 4K capable, and so that's a really good fit for that. If you have, like you said, if you have multiple TVs, one's a 4K, maybe one's a 1080p, maybe the one in the living room is a 4K TV with surround sound, but the one in the bedroom may be a 1080p. You can still have all that together off of that one splitter, and it's going to be able to give
a great picture,
a correct picture. Yeah, and it looks great. It's a fantastic piece. I'd say reach out to your sales rep, reach out to your distributor, find out pricing and availability. And as always, if you have questions about this product specifically, feel free to reach out to us at tech support. It's 386-492-8584. I don't have it here to put on the screen because I'm not there with my equipment to do that. However, you can also reach out to us by email. You can email adam.rogers@metroav.com. or they can email Brent at brent.mccall@metroav.com.
And of course, don't forget, there's also the 1x2 and the 1x8 that offer the same feature sets, just at different output counts.
Correct, yeah.
And
the
one of the nice
1x2
things,
is,
all of our units do come with the side tabs,
mm-hmm.
so you can mount it to the wall. All of our products is well ventilated because I can tell you that heat's an issue.
Heat's definitely an issue.
We take care of that with proper ventilation and cooling.
Yeah.
And by the way, because we haven't done it yet, go through your usual spiel on the likes and clicks and.
Yeah, of course. If as always, everybody like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell notification to let you know whenever we do go live, which of course is every Wednesday and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And like I said before, if you have questions about whatever it is that we're talking about, feel free to leave it over in the chat section over there. Or if you're watching this after the fact, leave it down in the comment section below. We do monitor those comments, and we do try to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So feel free to leave any questions you have there. In fact, you can even ask questions about the product that we're talking about today, and we'll get back to you on those questions there as well.
And don't forget gift cards. We love gift cards for food.
We got Leo in the chat. Hey, Leo, good to see you, my friend.
Hey, I really do like the way chat pops up on this.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I'm telling you, it's great. It's good stuff. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for checking in with us today. If you, like I said, if you have any other questions or anything else about that, feel free to reach out to us. 386-492-8584 is our direct line for tech support, or you can email us at Adam. Adam.Rogers.
Wishing you were me, are you?
Right? No, I definitely don't. Adam.Rogers@metroav.com.
Because I got to tell you that Freudian slip.
Freudian slip, right? Or you can email Brent at brent.mccall@metroav.com as well.
Certainly not Brent.Rogers.
No. So go ahead and do that. If anybody has any questions about it, reach out to us. We're happy to help out with that. Let us know where you use this in a not so normal application. Again, this is a great device for if you're running into EDID mismatch problems.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you look at one of our splitters, it will supplement voltage and current. Mm-hmm. So if you have a DirecTV satellite receiver or a cable box that's showing you odd outputs, telling you mode not supported or mode out of range, things that our Junior 3 won't fix, because this does supplement voltage and current going backwards to the source, along with sending this signal to multiple displays at different resolutions, it helps resolve some issues at the source side as well.
Nice. So now wait, is that clock stretching?
Okay, I'm going to hit you with a big stick. Clock stretching, yeah.
Yeah.
Clock stretching is when you work to 5:15 and they pay you to 5.
Or is it working till 4:40? Or is it on your schedule where we're working to 4:45 and getting paid till 5?
You're working till 3 and getting paid till 5.
That's what it is.
That's clock stretching.
There you go. All right, everybody.
Wait.
Honestly, that's not a bad episode. Well, work. That's not a bad episode idea, Brent. We should talk about clock stretching and what it actually is. What's actually happening. Or not happening, yeah. So maybe we should do that as well. So I'll add it to the list of show ideas. And as always, guys.
Wait. Next week, multi-source, multi-destinations.
That's right. Yep.
And what about the week after?
After that, I'll have to look at it again. I have got so many different episode ideas written down. Is that the one where we're doing the MOV
I believe it was MOVs. Because there's a lot to know there.
Yep.
And while everybody's listening and watching, I'm going to put you on the spot. How's the move going?
It's it's still going. It's still happening. So it's still happening. We'll put it that way. Things are going good.
You will be free of COVID come Monday, right?
That's the idea. I should be free of COVID come Monday. No, honestly, yeah. For being the only one out of the whole troop that went out to CD to catch COVID, yeah. I'll go out and get a lottery ticket.
I went to New York City and came home COVID free.
Exactly. So, well, Brent, I think that does it for us today. Let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. We got Leo with an email idea. I like this one. Restart.often@metroav.com. We might have to do that.
That's a hashtag. Restart early, restart often.
Yeah, reboot early, reboot often. All right, Brent, with that, let's go ahead and sign off. What do we have?
Reboot early.
Reboot often.
Turn off CEC.
Don't cut your wires too short.
And call tech support.
I'm Brent. I'm Adam.
We're out of here.
All right, we'll see y'all next time. Thanks, everybody.